everyone, and welcome to this week's What's for Dinner. Today I have 4 delicious meals to share with you. The first meal is a Chicago style pizza. I have a cast iron pan here that is coated with olive oil as well as some cornmeal. Now I've got some Italian sausage browning up in a pan. Now, I am not from Chicago, nor have I ever been to Chicago, but this is my rendition on a recipe that I found on Pinterest of a Chicago-style pizza. I'm not saying it's authentic or any of that, so please don't come at me for it if it's not. It is delicious, though. Here we've got some bacon that we're going to put in there as well. And I'm cutting up this mozzarella cheese that I got that is super hard for some reason. I didn't buy the completely fresh one. This is a pizza mozzarella. It was still good. Now I've rolled out my pizza dough and put it into my cast iron pan. Now don't mind how the pizza dough looks. It's not the best pizza dough I've ever used. It wasn't very stretchy. I've got a bunch of cheese in the bottom. Now I'm adding that bacon in and that sausage. Now mine is an Italian sausage. You can use whatever kind of sausage you like, of course. And I'm going to top that with pepperoni. So that's the big difference that I found in different recipes for Chicago style pizza that I looked at, is it's the pizza dough, your cheese, your meats or toppings. You could obviously add vegetables and stuff. And then your pizza sauce on top of that. So the sauce is on the top instead of the bottom. A jar of Classico pizza sauce. And then I'm going to top that after I tuck in the sides of the dough, which makes it look much prettier, with a little bit of shaker Parmesan cheese and a little bit of oregano. You don't have to do the oregano. I just like that little bit of extra flavor it gives. I also put a little bit of olive oil around the edges just to make those edges of the crust extra crispy. Here it is when it first comes out of the oven. You can see that delicious sauce bubbling up everywhere. It's got some good color on top. I am going to let this cool on the counter for about 10 to 15 minutes just so it kind of holds its shape when we take it out. And I served it up with a side salad. Really simple. And this was so delicious. It's definitely one of our favorite ways to have pizza. Next, I have a Pierogi Sheet Pan that I got the general idea from Mom's Messy Kitchen, whose video I'll link down below. We're going to start off by cutting up an onion into thin slices. And we'll add those to our sheet pan that we have off to the side here. Next, I'm going to cut up a couple green peppers. Usually I am a red, yellow, orange pepper lover, but green peppers looked really good at the store that I was at today, so I grabbed those instead. You can kind of see me throwing all the seeds and membrane from the inside off to the side there. Where I live, composting is actually mandatory, so I just have my compost bin there that goes into our city collection bin and gets picked up once a week. Here I'm just adding those green peppers as well to the sheet pan. And then off to the side in a pot here, I've got some pierogies. I'm going to partially boil those. And then here I am struggling to open some Polish sausage. And I'm going to cut into medallions, making sure that I peel that outside skin off. and add those to the sheet pan as well. I'm also going to add some more of that Italian sausage. This is actually venison Italian sausage. It's the same stuff that I used in the pizza the night before. And I'm just cutting those into little circles as well and adding those on. Next, I do have a chicken breast that I thawed out that I'm going to cut up and add on there as well, cutting off any excess fat. Those ones I'm just cubing up. Then we're going to add those pierogies onto the pan as well. Like I said, I love a sheet pan meal. They're so easy. Right now I'm just kind of making sure that everything's spread out and every spot has like the different meats. I really love mixing meats because you get those different textures, different flavors, a little bit of everything for everyone. And now I'll just add those pierogies in. I do like to parboil the pierogies just because I like my pierogies a little bit softer. And I find if I grill or bake my pierogies without boiling them a little bit, they tend to get a bit of a tougher outside. Next I'm going to add some olive oil on top. Not too much, maybe a couple tablespoons. And some Cajun or Creole seasoning. Then I'm going to give that a quick mix around, making sure that everything is coated in that olive oil and seasoning. And then I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. And I'm going to cook this for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until pierogi meats are cooked. And here it is fresh out of the oven. Everything is golden brown, crispy and delicious looking. Those peppers and onions are nice and soft. I'm going to plate it up. I've put some pierogies. I kind of keep those off to the side. They're easy enough to pick out. And then some sausage, onions, and peppers, as well as some of the chicken. And then on my husband's, I add sour cream. I'm not a big fan of sour cream, so I don't add that one on mine. But you top it however you want. It's so delicious. Next, I've got a really simple dish, which is just beef stir fry, and this is my quick stir fry. I'm going to start off here with my pre-cut beef strips and put those in a pan with some olive oil and get them cooking. Next, I'm going to cut up an onion quickly. This is obviously sped up. I can't actually cut this quick. Then I've just got a bag of frozen Asian style veggies that I got from Walmart that I'm going to toss in. Like I said, this is my quick and easy style stir fry. Usually I will cut up all those vegetables myself. Just going to cook those all together. Now this bag of veggies does come with water chestnuts in it, which I'm not a huge fan of, so I did pick most of those out. We're just going to let this cook. I'm going to turn that temperature down a little bit. add that beef back in once the vegetables have been cooking for about 10 minutes. And let those cook all together. Next, I'm going to make my stir-fry sauce. I'm going to start off with some low sodium soy sauce. Now, I didn't have very much of this left, so I do end up using some regular soy sauce as well. But we're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of the reduced sodium. And there's my Kikkoman sauce. Use about 1/8 of a cup of that, so I just fill my 1/4 cup halfway. Very much about eyeballing things. Next, I've got some rice wine vinegar. Use about 1/8 of a cup of that as well. And some ginger. I think I use about a teaspoon of this. Yeah, it's a teaspoon. And then we're going to use some garlic. That's about a tablespoon I put in. You can do more or less depending on how garlicky you like things. Then I'm going to add some natural peanut butter. This was like a Thai style that I was going for. My hands are clean, don't worry. And we're going to add some red pepper flakes or chili flakes. About a 1/2 teaspoon here, more or less depending on how spicy you like it. And then sesame oil, which is going to give it that really great depth and flavor, and I'm using about 1/2 tablespoon here. You can add more if you want that flavor to be stronger. I'm going to mix that up. I will give it a taste and see if we need to add anything else. I do realize that I don't have quite enough sauce for how many vegetables and meat I've cooked up, so I am going to end up adding a bit more soy sauce, so I use the rest of that low sodium and then top it off to make another 1/4 cup with the Kikkoman. Or just about a 1/4 cup. And then I do always add this to my stir-fry sauce. You don't have to if you don't like so much of a sweet sauce, but I add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. It just really cuts back on the saltiness that you get from the soy sauce and really adds a depth to the flavor of it as well. Now that our meat and veggies have been cooking up together while we made that sauce, probably about another 5 to 10 minutes. Everything looks soft and delicious. We're going to add that sauce in and let it all cook up together for about another 5 minutes while we make our noodles off to the side. Here I've got a pot of water coming up to a boil that I'm going to add some thin rice noodles into. You can use whatever kind of noodles you like. I'm going to cook them according to package directions and then rinse them off with some warm water. Then we're going to plate it all up together, starting off with some of those rice noodles. And then adding the beef and the veggies, along with a little bit of the extra sauce in the bottom of the pan. And then I like to add a little bit more peanut butter to mine because I really love mine to have that strong peanut butter flavor. I also add sriracha to the top of mine because I love everything a little bit spicy. This was so good and easy, and I really hope you guys try it out. My last meal this week is slow cooker ribs. This is one of my favorite ways of making ribs. It's really easy. You can start it in the morning. We're going to start off with our slow cooker, of course. I've got 2 small pieces of pork ribs that I have rubbed down with a barbecue seasoning. I'll leave a recipe similar to what I used in the description box if you want to check that out. But I just make sure that that's really rubbed into the meat. And of course you do want to make sure that you remove that membrane off of the back of your ribs, or they're going to end up a little bit tough. I do also add a whole can of Dr. Pepper or root beer. Usually Dr. Pepper, it just really breaks down all those fibers in the pork and gives it great flavor. It doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper, it just gives it this sweetness to it. We cook those for about 6 hours on low, or you can do 8 hours on low depending on how long you have. Mine were completely falling apart. I think I actually ended up switching them to high because I had put them in a little bit later than I normally would this day. But I'm going to take them out and put them on this sheet pan here. As you can see, they're falling apart, falling off those bones, so tender. I'm going to top it with some barbecue sauce. I'm using a Carolina honey mustard style barbecue sauce. I'd never used this on ribs before, but it is my favorite style when I go to like a barbecue place, so I bought some and tried it. It turned out really good. We're going to pop these in my oven under the broiler for about 5 to 10 minutes, or until that sauce turns nice and crispy and golden brown and it looks so delicious. And here they are out from under the broiler. You can see those little crispy bits. That sauce is just bubbling everywhere. I add a little bit more barbecue sauce just because I really like my ribs really saucy. Of course, this is completely up to you. And this day, I also kept it really simple. It was a busy week for me. So we put some ribs on the plate. I made some corn on the cob. This is just the Costco corn on the cob. I just boiled it up in normal water, didn't add anything fancy. Then I made instant mashed potatoes, which is not a regular thing in our household, but they were good. We doctored them up a little bit and they were great. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please take a moment and subscribe if you don't mind.